Today we're going to make ATCs. So what ATCs basically are is they are small size cards. So this is 2.5 by 3.5 size cards, and it is artist trading card. So you can share this with your friends, and you can trade with this, exchange it. So that's what ATC is, and we'll be making this, but the techniques that I'm going to show y'all, you can actually imply the same technique on a bigger surface. It's not necessary that you make one of these, and if you are interested in making and exchanging them, you can definitely inbox me. Might be if a lot of people are interested, we can create a group and exchange these cards. This cards you can decorate in whichever way you like. It is a form of your reflection of your creativity. You can doodle on them, you can paint on them, you can use any medium that you like. Today what we will be working with is, we will be working with some old storybook pages, and I'll be showing you all like a bunch of 3-4 different techniques how to use them. And we will also need some decoupage tissues. So let me just find where I kept. Here's my tissue. So I'll be just working with this, and I'll just show you all what all else you need. You need some cardstock, which is a bit thick. If you don't have cardstock, you can also use like old cartoons, like the covering you get, you can use those. Anything that is sturdy and thick enough will work. Then you'll need some old paper like this. You'll need some tissue. You can use any print that you have. Here I've taken out 2 tissues, and I'll be working with them. And then you'll be needing glue. You can use this Mod Podge glue, and if you don't have, you can just use normal Fevicol, and you can also dilute it a little bit. So that's what you'll need. You'll need some brush to apply it, and apart from that, you can use stencils, crayons, inks, paints, whatever you have in your stash. You don't really have to go and buy something. So let's start. Now the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just stick this down. So I'm just gonna apply glue. And I'm gonna just simply stick this down. Then I'm gonna take a pair of scissors and just chop off the excess. So this is what you'll get. Don't throw the rest of this, because we're going to make 4 different types, and in all of them we're going to use this as the background. So don't throw the leftover. Next we're going to take our tissue And what we want to do is we just want to cut out a bit of a piece or a part of this flower so that we can decoupage this on top of this. So I'll be just using my scissors and cutting this off. In decoupage we usually use a wet paintbrush to cut around so that we don't have these sharp edges, but right now I'm just cutting it with this because I want this specific part to be there, and I think it'll be a bit difficult to cut it with the brush. So once this is out, I'll just fussy cut a little bit around it, because as you can see the background isn't white, it has some prints, some colors, so I don't want all that on my piece. So I'm just cutting this off like this. You don't have to be too precise. If you all are having any doubts, you all can leave the comment, and once I'm done I'll just have a look and I'll just reply you all back. Right now I'm just focused on making this, so I'm not reading any of your comments. So you can use actually a smaller size of scissors, but right now I can't find it, so I've used this super duper big scissors to cut it out. And we can just stick this on. Let me just grab my brush and my glue. So I'll just put a little bit down. I'm not being too precise and too accurate. Okay, one thing I forgot absolutely was to remove the plies. Thank God. So the tissues usually have 2 to 3 plies that you need to remove, so you need to remove this. Thank God. And just carefully place it down. And then using a sponge you can just dab it and stick it down. Then use your glue and just give it one nice coat on top. And always go from center towards the outside, and then we'll just cut the excess out. So let's set this aside to dry, and then we'll do rest of the steps with this one. Now let's move to the next piece. You can make them actually really fast, so they aren't time consuming, and at once you can make 3 or 4 different pieces together. So we had just cut this part out, and I'm just going to use this right now. So we will just put this down, and we will glue this right here. If you don't have tissue paper, you can actually just use any printed paper and do it with what you have. And it's not necessary that you should have the same print. You can just do with whatever you have and just be a little bit creative. And basically, whenever you learn something, you should learn the technique and then apply it with what you have and add your creativity to it. So I'm just showing you like different ways you can do this. Now we want this again. So we had earlier cut a piece out of this, and again we're gonna stick this, but this time we're gonna tear the end like this. So this gets covered. Okay, we can tear it a little bit from here. Yeah, I think it's perfect. Now we'll glue this down. Oops. Let me just take out the excess glue on the surface so that it doesn't get wasted. Okay, good. I can use from this right now. So I'll just add glue. And stick down a piece. And now again we just turn around and then we'll cut off the excess. This is the second piece, and now let's move to the third one. So for the third one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this. I'm just tearing this off, and we're gonna tear this into small pieces. So just roughly tear this with your hands, and make sure it doesn't have any straight edge. So I'm just cutting that, and preferably cut or tear from the area where the text is there. We don't want this white part. You can go as big as you want and as small as you want, and after that we will be inking the edges, and then we will be collaging it on this. So this is done, and we will ink the edges right now. So I'm using distress ink, and if you don't have distress ink, what you can do is you can use acrylic colors as well. So just take a piece of sponge, and you don't need any fancy sponge. You can use any of these normal sponge that you have. Just cut the edges, take a little bit of paint, remove the excess, and then you need to just put it on the edges and darken it a little bit. And right now we're going to do the same with this distress ink. Nothing fancy, I'm just inking up the edges. So when we actually make a collage like this, the edges are prominently visible. So that's what I'm doing right here. I hope you all are enjoying this. Do send some hearts and like if you're liking it. I really tried to make a project with things that could be really readily available with everyone, and was not too fancy. You can use any form of color. You can use watercolors, any colors you can use for this. And if you don't have these two, don't panic. You can as I told you, you can use paint, ink, anything, and just a normal sponge and do the same thing. Sweta, coffee, yes, you can absolutely try it with coffee as well. If you're trying something with coffee, instead of this, you can just take a paintbrush and then go around the edges. I think that will be better than using this sponge if you're using something like a coffee, because it's it's water based, right? So I think the sponge will absorb a lot of water. What are ATCs? Okay, ATCs are artist trading cards. They are small size cards like these, and their size is 2.5 into 3.5 inches. And basically you can share this and send it to your friends, and you can trade with it and exchange it, and then create a collection with cards from different artists. But as I told you all, you can just imply the same technique and do it on a bigger surface. Right now I'm just showing you on a smaller surface. So you can actually do a box like this. You can decoupage a box like this, or like this. So it's just a small surface that I'm showing you. If you're not interested in making a ATC, you can apply this on a bigger thing. So let's start collaging this. We can burn the edges. Yes, you can absolutely burn the edges too. But I'm very clumsy and I don't want to take risk with fire, so I stay away from fire. Now when you're collaging it, either you can try to maintain the lines, the text on a straight line, or what you can do is you can just randomly put it like this. I think I will go with maintaining the text, or you can just see, like right now I've just randomly placed it in all directions. Either you can do like that, or you can try and make a collage where all the words are in a straight line, something like this. So let's try and stick this here. Which one do you think will look better? Making it into a straight line, or just randomly placing it? Okay, how is your quarantine period going, and what are you all doing and trying new at home? Do let me know. I've seen so many amazing artists doing live videos and sharing such beautiful creations. I think it's really commendable, and I would really like to thank everyone who's taking the effort to keep the people positive and spread some love. Random, okay. I think I got the reply a bit late, so let's put rest of the pieces randomly. I think we're out of a bit of the paper. I'll just very quickly just tear 2 pieces and ink it. And this will be fine for here, and this will be fine for rest of it. Which brand of brush? This is actually a Ranger brush. I don't know exactly what it's called. I guess it's a distress collage brush, but I'm not sure. The print is completely out right now. This brush is really nice. I usually don't invest my money in fancy stuff and don't buy quite expensive stuff. I always feel and especially brushes, because every time I need to buy a new brush, all my brush are dried. So but this brush is something that I really like, because this actually has a hole in the middle. So it's been really old, so I don't know how far you can see, but see, it has a hole in the middle. So when you put too much, even if you've put too much glue, and the thickness and the flexibility of this is really perfect, so even if you've put too much glue, you can actually pick it up and it stores inside it, and then you can take it off and put it on another surface. So that's the reason I love this brush, and I do all my decoupage stuff with this brush only. So this is also done. Very quickly we'll just oh god, okay, very quickly we'll just trim off the edges again for this one also. What I've applied on the edges, okay, I've applied this distress ink and I've used this brush, but it's not necessary. You can use any anything that you have. If you have paints, you can use that. You can use acrylic and this normal sponge. Take it, but remember, it should not be overloaded. Just take the acrylic, wipe the excess off, and then you can apply it like that. So that's what you can do. And now I'm just darkening the edges a little bit. So this is my third piece, and the base is ready for this as well. We'll try to actually darken the edges for this as well. These aren't coasters, this is actually just paper. Yeah, you said it rightly, you can actually do these on coasters as well. A really nice idea. I really didn't think about it, but that's definitely a nice idea. You can do this on MDF coasters as well, but right now I'm just doing this on cardstock. It's a heavy duty cardstock, I guess it's 300 GSM, and I've just layered paper on top of it. So these three are done. Let's move to the last one very quickly. And for the last one, what we'll be doing is we'll be just sticking it down, because we're going to make this a little bit different from the others, and we're going to make this into like a mixed media piece. And very quickly I'll just stick it down. So we have made all these pieces out of just 1/4 of the tissue, not even that. So Whenever you have any design of tissue, see how you can use it to maximize and not waste stuff. Please take it in the center. Can't see the article. These are half done. We are just working on them. Which glue? To stick, I'm using this fabric glue, and for decoupage, I'm using this Mod Podge. But if you don't have these, you can use any normal glue that you have. There isn't any hard and fast rule that you have to use these. Now for this, what we are going to do is we're going to cut this pretty blue butterfly right here, and again I'm going to cut it with my scissors. So here's my butterfly, and again here also I'll be fussy cutting it with my scissors and not with the actual way how we do in decoupage, and cut it with the paintbrush. So very carefully. नहीं यही चाहिए था. Thankfully I've got my smaller scissors and it's easier to cut it with this. So whenever you're cutting, keep your scissors straight and move your paper. Don't move your finger, hand and your scissors in all the direction. So simply move the paper around and keep your scissors straight, so you can easily cut it that way. And yeah, I have cut off the antenna because it's too thin and I don't want to waste my time cutting that out. And once you're done, you need to peel off the second layer of tissue. So yeah, I've peeled this off and I'll be sticking it right on the center, just like this. I think it's looking really cute. I want to make sure it's right in the center. And since we had glued this whole thing down, so it had a little bit of glue, that's why I've just pressed it with my sponge. And now I will just apply glue on the top again to secure it in place. And now I'll remove these. Or on this one, what I plan to do is we just add a little bit of paint and whitewash the background a little bit, and then we're gonna do a little bit of stenciling on this with texture paste. So I'm just using Camlin. Oh god, shit. 1 second guys, I'll just clean it up a little bit. Please bear with me and wait for a minute. I'll just clean up my table and my hands, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back after a big blunder. So that's the exact reason why I didn't burn the edges in this one, and I rather chose to distress it. So I've just diluted a little bit of the white acrylic color, and I'll be painting. And we'll just let that dry, and by the time that's drying, what we'll be doing on this one is we'll be adding a bit of texture. So here I've used iMix texture paste, so that's what I've used. But if you don't have texture paste, you can actually make it at home, and you can just simply add some talc, that's normal talcum powder, and some glue and some acrylic paint, and make your own paste. So that's what, if you don't have it, that's the jugaad method of making it. And today I'll be using this, and I'll be using my stencil. So again, my stencil is from Expression Crafts, and what I'll be doing is I'll be just putting it down like this, and I want the texture to be just in the center, in just this much part. So I'll try my best to apply it in such a way that it stays just in the center. I'm almost out of the paste. Still, this is what I have, and I need to work with this. So I think even I'll be having to make my own paste very soon. So the way you apply paste is you just put it down like this, and keeping your knife at a 45-degree angle, you drag the paste towards the direction that you want it. So, and always try to pull it in the same direction. That's what I like, because it gives an even finish. So I'll be removing this, and all the excess bit that we've just put and just which is not formed like a circle, I'll be just removing that. And I'll also wipe off a few more of the circles. And I think this is done. Now we let that dry, and we're working on this one right here. So now we'll use this stencil, and again we will apply the paste right on this edge over here, a little bit on this side and a little bit on this side. What is not clear? Is the video not clear, or you didn't understand anything that I just said? So this is what we've got. Now we'll just let this dry a little bit, and by the time we're gonna work with these two. So I'm gonna show you all a really nice trick of getting dots in a straight line. So uh, uh, there are tools like this which I guess is actually used in stitching. I'm not sure what it's used for, but it has a metal part like this and it rotates. As far as I know, I think this is used in stitching. So I'll be using these. Do let me know if you know what this is used in. You get this in Itsy Bitsy. I got mine from Itsy Bitsy. So after everything is fine and the shops are open, you can actually go to Itsy Bitsy and get this or order it online. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna just put this a little bit of black acrylic paint, and I have just tried to ink or rather put paint on all the sides. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna border this. So try to be as straight as you can. And then you can make a border on all 4 sides. So that is what you'll get. Isn't it cute? So the same way we're gonna do on this one as well. So that's done, and these two are almost done. All we need to do is just need to splash a little bit of paint. So I'll use my fan brush. And I'll water this down a little bit. And then I'm just gonna dip my fan brush and add a little bit of paint on both of them. So this is what it will look like, and on this one I want to cover the butterfly, so I'll put something like this, and then I'm just gonna again do the same. I'll just add a few splashes. Now I'll remove this and I'll cover the other half. And add splashes to the bottom part. So So this is ready. Now we can just add some sentiment in the middle, and you can also add some glitter if you want, but both of them are almost ready. Now on this one, what I'm going to do is okay, this is dried. You just need a marker, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw around these. It's a bit wet, so this marker isn't working nicely, but once it dries you can easily draw around this, or you can use a dot pen as well. And draw around these. Let me just check if I have another dot pen. So I've just drawn around these. Okay, then we're just gonna use some string or twine, and we're just gonna wrap this around over here. Later on we can just add glue and stick this down at the back, and right here we're just going to use any sentiment that we have. So here is a sentiment that I had stamped from one of the mudra stamps, but you can use whatever you have. You can also print out these sentiments from your computer and stick that. So this is what it looks like. So 3 of these are almost done. On this as well, I'll stick this down. And I wish I had one more sentiment on hand, so I could have put it here. Now this is the last one that we're going to do, and what I'm going to do in this is I'll just take this is chalk paint from Minecraft. Again, if you don't have chalk paint, you can use acrylic paint, but I absolutely love iCraft chalk paints because they are really thick, so thick that it doesn't spill very easily, like you saw just now the blunder that happened. So that's the reason I love this chalk paint, and the coverage is also really nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add a little bit of the paint on the edges, and then we want this paint to flow like this, and it will basically highlight the texture that we've just did. And the same we're going to do on this side. We'll just add a little bit of the paint, and then we're gonna spray this. So this is done, and now we just let it dry a little bit, and we're going to use this butterfly right here. I think I want to color this part as well a little bit blue. And this butterfly right here, I'm just gonna cut half of its wing and I'm gonna stick it here. So I just chopped off the excess, and again I'm just gonna fussy cut this out, and I'm gonna just stick it there. The time I'll just clean this up a little bit. So it's a little bit wet. Let me just use a tissue and dry it out a little bit so we can start sticking. So that's where our butterfly will go. So again I'm going to use my brush and I'm just going to glue this down. We let this dry. I hope there isn't any paint that has come on. Let's see. And once this has dried, we'll just use a marker and again draw around these. So I can show you all a sample that I made. This is the same thing. The only thing that we're going to do is make the border with the marker. I think it'll take a little while to just so very simply just take a thick marker and draw around it, but since it is not dried completely, my marker isn't working, so my marker isn't working, so I'll just let that dry, and this is what it will look like. All you need to do is just line this up with the marker, and I made a border and also bordered this butterfly, and I had this ready. So today we have learned these 4 ATCs. And I hope you all liked and enjoyed it. I've made another one, and here I've used some other tissue paper. I used this paper right here, and the same technique of which we used in this. I just pasted the paper and the tissue, and then I added these dots with the fabric liner. I added just these dots right here and stuck the sentiment, and this is the same ones that we did right now. So I hope you all enjoyed it and have fun. If you still have any doubt, you can just ask me. I'll be live just for another 5-10 minutes. And do let me know if you want to see any other live video, and if you want to see what you want to see me make. If it's possible, I'll try to do a few more videos, but I really can't guarantee. But do let me know what else you want to see, or what else you want me to make. Thank you. Okay, thank you for all your hearts and like. Okay, I'm glad you all liked it. Do try these at home, and you can message me and share these with me. You can also tag me if you try all this at home and make them. Please make envelope. Yeah, you can also make envelopes with the same technique. Really nice idea. And I've tried to use really basic stuff that's available at home, so please try them at home, and instead of wasting your time, use it in a fruitful way. Okay, you can do these on posters. We got an idea of doing these on envelopes, so I think you've got an idea of a lot of different ways of using stuff, and you can apply this on anything. So bye bye, and I hope you all have a good time crafting, and stay home, stay happy, and stay safe. That's all I want to tell you all. Okay, bye bye for now.